good morning, good morning. It is Kirsten Liebelt. Come on in, you guys. Come on in from the balcony on TikTok. How are you guys doing? I am Kirsten Liebelt. It is so good to see you. It is a Wednesday, and in Minnesota, the sun is shining, and that's a very happy day. It's very good. Going into summer, you guys, in Minnesota is like, whoa, just like victory arms every single day. I do not have a cabin. I don't go to the cabin. We travel other places, but in Minnesota, and I'm sure there are other states too, summer hits, and man, the exit from the cities on a weekend basis is like none other. It's crazy pants. Good to see you guys. Today we are going to actually talk about the truth about diabetes and weight loss and why drugs aren't the answer. And it's because there's a connection that people miss. So we're going to talk about that. But if you do not know, we do this every day, Monday through Friday, unless I'm on vacation or like if I'm traveling or it's a holiday. And we talk about insulin resistance. And the reason why is because this has been my entire life. My father was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. I feel like I've got something on my lips. I apologize. Diagnosed with type 2 diabetes when he was 35, and that's when I was born. So I have spent my life inside of this Italian bubble. If anybody can relate to a food, culture, disease, common family structure, diabetes, it's always kind of like diabetes isn't genetic. What's genetic is how you were taught to eat. I mean, genetics, like, what do they say? Genetic loads the gun, but lifestyle and habits pull the trigger. So anyway, good morning, Patty. Good to see you. And so having been raised that way, very, very much so, impacted everything. Like I assumed there was nothing I could do, all of these things, whatever. Everybody was very obese, a lot of type 2. And my dad just lived a life of function going south, south, south. He was exhausted all the time. He ached, he hurt, he had sores on his legs. He slept a lot on the family room floor with a lot of pillows, and his circulation was bad. And I think that he was just up a lot in the middle of the night because of his insulin resistance, his type 2. Managing his medications just became more of his own part-time job, so to speak, because you had to get your medicines to play nice inside of you so that you could safely drive, so that you could, not fall asleep at the wheel, which was always, it's bizarre to me now to look back and go, oh my gosh, we teased about that all the time. Good morning, Magda. Something, about dad sleeping at the wheel. Well, that's ridiculous that but we were so used to it. We were so accustomed to him feeling like trash. He never, that I remember, so this is going to be an over exaggeration, but just track with me here. He never attended church on a Sunday morning and did not fall asleep. I mean, ever. I don't ever remember my dad being awake during a church service, ever. And now what we talk about today, the connection between weight and diabetes, et cetera, maybe this will make sense to a lot of people, because one of the fallouts from insulin resistance is very, 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 very much so the fact that you're exhausted. You're just freaking exhausted. So we're going to talk about it today a little bit. Good to see you guys. So like I said, we do this every day. On Monday, May 5th, in the group Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women, we will be doing our 24th free 5-day insulin resistant reset challenge. And this is really to equip you as much as I can. I had to get get all the fish in the pond, so to speak. And it would be like, teaching you ingredient trade outs and teaching you supplementation and a recipe and all of those good things so that you can actually have success. And that's going to be Monday, starting at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, Monday through Friday. So let's dive into this today, because I feel like this is what happens. And so tell me if this is what has happened to you as you've gone to the doctor. Now, remember, I was too afraid of going to the doctor. So I was monitoring my own sores on my body. I was monitoring all the things. But I also Hot Mess Express, like slammed into my 50s, total mess. Size 2X, very, very messed up, metabolically messed up, hormonally. It was not pretty. I was a total sugar addict and I ate really poorly because of my Italian, upbringing, etc. So I did not have a lot of the experiences in, certain pieces that maybe you have, but I have now since then had so many of you email me and tell me these things. So here we go. What happens generally is that you start gaining weight and you go to the doctor and the doctor says, you need to lose weight in order to control your blood sugar. Who has been told that? Or that you kind of believe that you need to lose the weight in order to control your blood sugar. I think that would be a common thought process. So you might try diets, pills, and even shots, and nothing really sticks. Now, obviously that's not true for everybody, but I'm just saying, like, in general, we're trying to come at it from the weight perspective, and that might be a little backwards. So here we go. It's because no one is telling you that the real reason why you gained the weight to begin with is because of insulin resistance. Okay, and insulin is the hormone that controls how you feel your body. So actually, insulin resistance comes first. The weight gain is just a symptom. It is just a symptom. It's telling you something is off. It's telling you something is wrong. But diabetes is just a progression of that same issue. So it's just that progression, right? So drugs don't fix insulin resistance. They don't. They manage the symptoms, but they do not address why you became diabetic in the first place. And maybe you're not diabetic, thank the Lord, but you're on that pathway, right? Or you believe you are. But even weight loss won't fix it unless you're fixing the root cause, your metabolism, your gut, your insulin response. This is why some people, just listen up. This is why some people are thin and they're type 2. Not all people who have insulin resistance that progresses into diabetes type 2 are overweight. That's why it's a shock to a lot of people. Oh, I have to sneeze. Excuse me. I was like, oh, that's not going to stop. No matter how much I touch my nose, it's not going away. But that's why you have people that are skinny and they're type 2 diabetic. Haven't you ever wondered why that is? If it's true that if you lose the weight, you ditch the diabetes. I know people who've lost the weight. I was just texting with somebody last night. Sugars are still super high, lost a bunch of weight, cannot get those sugars under control. Why? Because the insulin has to come under control. Why? Because the insulin is what goes and grabs the sugar to get it to go into your cell for fuel. There is a progression here. There's a river to follow, and they're not having you follow the river. They're having you catch over here with the sugars. They're not even talking about the insulin spiking over here. Like, this is the problem that we have. And that's why so many people end up on meds and never to return to non-medicated again. That happens so much. But it's all about what your cells are doing with the food that you eat. This is why every day we have this cellular conversation, because then you can actually treat the root cause. You can take your axe and get to the root of the tree. Okay. Everything else is a bunch of freaking band-aids. And this is happening day in and day out, in and outside of the medical system. This is frustrating. Because didn't the Matrix have our best interest in mind when they were giving us lab tests and then giving us medication? Very frustrating. So until you reverse insulin resistance, you are stuck in the loop. So we have to address the actual insulin resistance. All right, here we go. Here we go. Let me know in the comments too. Like, first of all, I forgot to say, if you're on the replay, let me know you're on the replay and where you're coming in from. I always love to know that. And you know what? If you've never seen my content before, put a number 1 in the comments, because I never know who has heard my stories and who hasn't, who knows what my background is and who doesn't, etc. So it's always kind of like you never know what people are needing to know the most, right? So when I talk about like my childhood and my dad being insulin dependent and all of these different things and all of the heart procedures and the kidney dialysis and whatever, I just have a different worldview than a lot of people because I've been there. So now I know what to think about as I'm looking forward, right? I know what to, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Lori, thank you for liking and tapping. I appreciate you so much. These are the things that I now know to look down the road at, right? But when you want to talk about something as, okay, very good. Thank you for letting me know. Good morning, Julie. I see you. I see you, Julie. I see you. Good morning. So good to see you guys. And so I always know about the severe consequences of diabetes because that was my life. Like I lived it. I got on the plane. My mom would pay for an expensive plane trip for me to jump on a plane in Rapid City, South Dakota, because that ain't going nowhere. I mean, not cheaply. Rapid City, because I was living out in the Black Hills of South Dakota for about 8 years in the 90s with my family. It's where we started to homeschool and all the good stuff. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Lori. And she would fly me home to Minneapolis so that, good morning, Julie. We want optimum health. We do. She'd fly me home to Minneapolis for an emergency angiogram or an emergency heart procedure for my dad. And, that I didn't get, that might've happened one time that I was flown home. Other times, obviously we just drove. But point being, that was literally my life. And then he was gone at 63. Like it was ridiculous. And now I'm 60 and I'm like, oy vey. But I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful that I was given tools for my toolbox to turn this around when I was right around that 50 age, and so I have lost those 3 sizes. And most people want to know about how to lose the weight, but just understand this. If you lose the weight with other Band-Aids that are not dealing with your insulin, this is where you're fooling yourself. Just losing the weight does not fix insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes. It's a hard pill to swallow because I feel like we've been so indoctrinated. Okay, so here's the good news. When you fix your insulin resistance, your body naturally starts losing the weight. This is why, you guys, the testimonies of so many people losing weight, because they finally started to deal with their insulin and the blood sugar numbers go down without chasing them with drugs. You don't need another prescription. You need a plan. And I'm not a doctor. I'm just an Italian girl who figured this out. This is all my own opinion. You need food that doesn't spike your insulin. You need supplements that support your blood sugar. You need to heal your gut and stop the cravings. Is this tracking? Does this resonate with you? Do you understand? This is an inside job, 100% an inside job. Okay. And that's when it starts to click. So for real, like if you're tired of chasing your weight, you're still battling diabetes, etc. It's time to shift your focus. So when we talk about this with insulin resistance, we talk about you've been, good morning, Terry. Good to see you. You've been spiking your blood sugars for possibly decades and calling on insulin to take that fuel and put it into your cell. But when your cell becomes resistant, then it has to do something with it. Number one, you end up with a lot of insulin in your body because it's going to make more and keep trying, fight that good fight. And you're going to get all this inflammation because of all of the insulin that's in your body. But number two, your cell has been closed for business. And when your cell is closed for business, it can't have energy enter it anymore. So you're exhausted. You're not getting the nutrition that you need inside of your cell. Your insulin resistance is creating leaky gut. And this is happening over decades. Decades. I was thinking this morning about so my insulin resistance, I'm convinced that it started when I was a child. We were taught, and I do this in the Facebook group. I oftentimes I'll show some pictures of when I was a little girl. Like my parent was taking a picture of us scooping ice cream out of those big gallon and a half or whatever containers, and we always had one in our freezer because my mother thought that she was taught somewhere in her world, another total freaking marketing lie. Oh my gosh, like we've been so freaking duped. I don't know if anybody else feels as scammed as I do. It's ridiculous. She was told that a good source of calcium for her children was to feed them ice cream. What are you even talking about? Now, what I understand is that when I hit my college years and I'm dating my husband, I have eczema on my eye. I have eczema on my arms showing up. These were all signs. These were all signs. So no shock then. I get married. I'm young. I get married at like 22. I'm just shy of like my 23rd birthday or something like that. And I have my first child. I'm gestational diabetic. Shocker. I'm so surprised. I mean, seriously, you guys. I was an overweight kid from a very young age. And I only lost weight once effectively, and that was my senior year of high school, and I did not do it a healthy way at all. I did not. And that's the only, bye Julie, see you later. It's the only way that whatever. I just was desperate. Anyway. And so, we took like speed and stuff like that, things that you're not supposed to do. And then I revisited that in a more like normal way, like through Walmart in my 30s when they sold Metabolife. But just losing the weight does not fix your insulin resistance. And there are a lot of people that need to hear that message because you will then always struggle. You will always wonder, why are my sugars still going up? I lost the weight. Why do they still want to put me on meds? Why is my blood pressure high? Why am I having issues? Like why are they talking to me about fatty liver and heart disease? I lost the weight. They told me I had to lose the weight. So I did. I went on this program over here. I counted points over here. I bought the $1,200 a month prepackaged program over here. And I'm telling you right now, literally as your best friend, like just pull your chair up for a second, grab your cup of coffee or your tea, and just listen for a second. If those programs do not address your insulin resistance, you might lose the weight, but it will not stay off. But the reason why it won't stay off is because you spent the whole time living in some sort of a calorie deficit, but you were still constantly spiking your sugars and calling on insulin the whole time. So now maybe it works the first time, maybe the second time it works a little less, and maybe by the third time you do that same program, it doesn't work at all for you. And you're like, what in the world? Why can't I crack the code of my own body? Okay, like that is a for real conversation. So again, you can be skinny and still be insulin resistant. 100% true. You can lose a bunch of weight and still have high sugars because you didn't deal with the insulin. All right. So hold on. I'm going to actually see here. I would love to know. I would love to know. And even if you're on the replay, go ahead and put it in on the replay. I would love to know who has had that experience with, I already know that you have because you guys tell me about it in my comments or in my inbox. But where you have, there was a program, there was a system that was working, and now it's not working for you anymore. Okay. So In talking about detailing your own body and how you can do this, just like you can detail an engine, the inside of a vehicle. And I'm going to tell you, like, this should be the best news you've ever heard. The best news is that you're not dealing with anything terminal. That's the best news, number one. The second best news is you can actually fix it from the inside out and like stop all the band-aids and stop all of the mental anguish of saying, well, what's wrong with me? I don't have self-control. I don't have discipline. I'm just a hot mess express. Blah, 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 blah. All of that negative self-talk is actually not true. The reason why you're craving sugars is because your body so desperately needs fuel. So it's saying, hello, will you please give me some energy? And you then keep eating the carbs, you're trying to get that energy fix, and you can't get it because it never gets into the cell because you're insulin resistant. Come on, does this make sense? I would love to know if this makes sense. This is such a big piece of your puzzle. You maybe don't even know that it is true. But if you can bring your insulin down, I'm going to give you the things that if you could do, this is what would help you. You need to get your insulin to come down. That is the fat storing hormone in your body. You need to get your liver to function at least twice the function, 10x. You need to 10x your liver function. You've got to 10x your liver function because it needs to help you to be able to regulate the glucose in your blood, and it needs to be able to help you to regulate your hormones, and insulin is a hormone, cortisol is a hormone, GLP-1 is a hormone, okay? And then you've got to get your metabolism sped up a tiny bit, right? Because let's be real, a little sluggish on the metabolism as we get older. And the last piece that you really, really, really want to fix your gut. I don't mean last in terms of importance. You got to get your gut where it can actually help you with your serotonin production so that you don't feel like trash all the time mentally, because then you're being mean to yourself. And you don't have motivation to do anything that continues to bring joy into your life. Your gut also helps you to create GLP-1. So you don't have to get injections if you fix the inside of your body. And of course, that's just my opinion, but that's the point. The point is that you have a hunger hormone, you have a fat storing hormone, you have basically like a weight loss hormone, you have all these wonderful hormones that do all sorts of things to try to protect your body and help your body function. But they start in your gut. So your gut is the driver of the balance and the creation of what's going on. And so we're chasing band-aids. We're chasing quick fixes. We're chasing instead of giving ourselves permission to just have a healing journey, right? I know what that feels like. I know what it feels like. Oh my gosh, like I have spent so much money trying many different things over my lifetime. I've been on every diet. I've been on the grapefruit diet. I've been on the cabbage soup diet. I've been on, like, you name it, I've been on it. I've done it. I did HCG all those years ago. I did that with homeopathically, but it did work. But that was a severe calorie deficit. It makes me wonder what I actually did to my system metabolically. I mean, that was really harsh. But I've done it all, just like you. Thinking that there's got to be a plan that works. There's got to be a program that works. The only program that works when you're insulin resistant is to get your insulin down. Because if you don't get your insulin down, your fat burning switch is turned off. Off. If your liver isn't functioning and it can't metabolize the fat that you're eating, or that's floating around in your body, fat burning turned off. Okay. So I will just say before I jump off now today, Monday is when we have the 5-day challenge. This is a great place for you to start. It's free. It's in the Facebook group, Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. I go live every day at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you need a track to run on, if you need to hook arms with somebody so that you can actually understand insulin resistance and then be able to actually bring things down so that you can lose the weight. It's not the opposite. You don't lose the weight and it fixes your blood sugars. You have to do things differently. There is actually a right way to be able to put pieces of your puzzle together. It's biological. It's not even like it's not a right way according to, the book of Kirsten Liebelt. That's not true at all. This is just like the way your body functions and runs. That's all we're talking about, right? So you have to address the elephant in the room, which is your body actually has a process that it goes through. And if you do not go back and give that part of your body, that process, the support that it needs, the boost that it needs, the acceleration that it needs, if you do not address that system, you're just going to go round and round and round and round and round because you're going to think, there's no way I could trade out my foods. There's no way I could be on a supplement routine. There's no way that I could blah, blah, blah. It's all about balance. It's all about all the things in your head, just bouncing around. Every commercial you've ever heard, all you have to do is live in a calorie deficit and all you have to do is intermittent fast. And all you have to do is, it's all about balance. And if you add more fiber, just add more fiber. That's all you have to do is add more fiber. La, 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 la. And that is exhausting. So get into the group because then on Monday we can start another 5-day free challenge. It's our 24th one, and it is a track for you to run on. If you want to know about the supplementation that I talk about inside of that group, the total body reset, which is, and you've heard me talk about components of it before, but that is the trio and the gut reset protocol and the fat burner. If you want to know, because that particular set system is getting by far the best results when people actually do everything all at once. You don't have to, you can baby step it. And for real, I don't even mean that in a negative way. I mean that sometimes we have to take baby steps. Do you think I actually changed overnight my Italian ways? I mean, that's just ridiculous, right? That's not true at all. But I do have 2 testimonies that I'm going to read for you, and then I'm going to run. Here we go. Come on. Load. Here we go. So 2 testimonies from the total body reset system, okay? And if you want to know about that, you can put total in the comments and I will get back to you on that today. I'll get you a cart so you can just see everything. I have a short video that I can explain it better than I can do right now. So if I sent that to you, would you watch it? That's my question for you. It's like, it's under 5 minutes, but I'm really explaining in detail what this is doing. And I can share that with you. If you're on Instagram or TikTok, you do have to get into my messages because this will go away when the live is done. But here are a couple of testimonies. My A1C dropped from a 6.5 to a 5.1 in 3 months. And I lost 16 pounds. So you understand, get your insulin down, get your sugars down, the weight comes off. You don't beat yourself up, you beat your head against a brick wall trying to lose the weight and then expect your sugars to drop if you didn't deal with the insulin issue. Second testimonial. I'm down 45 pounds in 5 months. 74 years old. I feel amazing. And those are both my clients. You're excited for the next 5-day reset challenge, Terry. Thanks for saying that. You're like such a great testimony of somebody taking back your own health. So Terry she traded out her foods first, and that was such a game changer for her. I teach grain, sugar, and legume free because then you're stopping that cycle. But you can still be a foodie. I promise you. If I can still be a foodie, you can still be a foodie too. And I mean that. I don't mean you can still be a foodie and hate everything, and hate every food that you eat. Like I'm just gonna teach you how to suck it up, Buttercup. How does that sound for a plan? You're just gonna suck it up. You're gonna hate your life. Oh, but you know what? Nothing tastes as good as skinny feels. Another BS conversation in what we've learned. That's baloney. I'm just telling you, that's so dumb. No, let's do this the right way and you'll get the right results. So Terry then went on to she did take on some targeted supplements, but you lost over 45 pounds in 8 months last year. You guys, let's go. Where do you want to be at Christmas time? Okay, so I'm going to jump off tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. I'll be right back here again. And again, if you want if you want to know about the total body reset, you want to watch just a little short video, do yourself a favor. Give yourself permission to watch a less than 5-minute video. It's me, but it's explaining things. And just put total in the comments. And if you're on Instagram or TikTok, get up into my messages and tell me that. And I can give you that information. You can watch the video and ask me questions. Ask, so that I can help you navigate. All right. Have such a great day, you guys. Enjoy. And if you have sunshine like I do, get out there and enjoy your sunshine. Get it 20 minutes in the sun every day.